Let's see. So you were heading, I believe, to Roscommon Hospital, where the body lies in the local morgue, where it has been apparently already reviewed, shall we say, and examined. I think you already know that it is due to be moved quite shortly, though.
Well, let's step on it.
Yeah, and we don't know what shape it's in either. Everyone keeps saying rapidly decomposing, and the clock is ticking, so...
Okay. So you head to the hospital. It is only 10 kilometers, or 10 miles, I should say, actually, from where you were. It's down the back roads in Ireland, which means that theoretically it's two-way traffic. In reality, a lot of the time, there's little places where you can pull in to let guys coming the other way pass. And in fact, you have to do it with the things like tractors and stuff like that are coming through. It's a bit nerve-wracking when you're used to driving on proper highways or normal things like that. Luckily there's no cliff faces or stuff like that, because it's you're in basically a flat ex-bog. This entire county was pretty much at one point forestry, which got cut down, and it's now just bogland. It's broken up a lot by scrub and stuff like that, and the fact that you can't really see much more than about 100 meters or so, 100 yards or so, because of the constant misty rain that is falling. And this rain intensifies as you drive towards Roscommon town until it's coming down in sheer heavy sheets, almost like someone's slowly pouring a bucket of water over your car. It's weird for someone who's used to the east coast of the US, which it's cold there, but it doesn't rain that much in the mid east. It's kind of a thing where people would run for cover in the rain, whereas in Ireland it's kind of like people it's a bit wet. You drive into Roscommon town, and it takes you a little while to find the hospital. It's not well signposted. But finally you drive into it, and it's an old building built probably in the 1870s or so, and not really expanded much since. There's one hideous looking, probably 1960s concrete monstrosity that's been strapped onto the side of the existing building.
Right.
And it made what was actually a pretty nice older building look absolutely awful. There's a far too inadequate car park, which is busting at the seams, and around to one side you spot, just out of pure luck, the sign for the morgue, which the only car parking you can see is a single disabled spot. Everyone though seems to have abandoned their cars almost in various different places.
I was going to say, I'm not going to take the disabled spot, but I am going to just pull up on the curb in a sort of nominal, oh look, there's a parking garage over there kind of way.
Yeah,
so,
that's kind of seems to be the approach.
Put two wheels on one side up on the curb and walk off. Right.
That's pretty much what everyone has done. It seems to be the way. It kind of gives you the impression that people just abandon their vehicles out of frustration. You step out of the car and make your way towards the morgue. It's, as I say, pouring rain. You're first going to pull up your jackets or pull out your brollies, whatever it is you particularly have. I just want to check something right here, because I am terrible at remembering people's names and stuff like that. Yeah, Caliban, your copious amount of hair kind of gets a little bit of an animalistic kind of smell to it. A little bit of yeah. Well, I don't want to say that, but yeah. You kind of get a kind of a.
That's right. What? My Irish Springs that I keep in my pocket isn't working.
Yeah. Spritz yourself or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just, slick it back and keep it moving.
Okay. Slick it back, keep it moving. Yeah.
Great.
You make your way up to this. It's a god-awful building. It's a square of concrete, probably built around about the same time as that horrible 60s extension. Probably, it looks like it was constructed by somebody who built prisons for a living.
Right.
There's a couple
of... I went to college. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's right. UCD was actually, and probably some of the ones in California were built by prison architects. I don't
my
know.
dorm was in
The
my college.
university. Yeah. Because there were a lot of problems with student riots.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 60s, so they just built them like they would prisons. There's no actual large area for students to gather in the largest university in the country.
I have that precise memory. But come on, yes.
Yeah. So there's a couple of windows high up on it only really has one floor, but it looks like it's a very tall floor, if you know what I mean. And there are windows high up around it, but they're really pokily small, like a bathroom window, and covered over and stuff like that. So there's not really a hell of a lot of natural light probably in this building. As you walk up to it, you can see that the guttering is slightly broken, spraying water down on anyone who gets too close to certain parts. You're going to have to weave your way in, and as you walk up to the doors, which are these battered, they're probably original doors. The wood is splitting, and the white paint barely covers the damage that has been sustained over the countless years. They swing open, and a woman and a man come out, clearly in some distress. He's got kind of her, slightly sheltered, and she's kind of sobbing, and he's like, "It's all right, Margaret. It's okay. Come on now." He kind of gives you a look, the three of you, as you approach. Like there's this huge, trollish kind of figure, this tiny little kind of like Japanese girl with like a broad kind of open face, very young looking, childlike, and this and this striking looking woman in between the two of them. So like, how different three different people could you get? And he gives you a funny look. She doesn't really pay attention. She's obviously very wrapped up in whatever's happening. His face looks really, really long and kind of drawn, but even so, his eyes kind of wide for a second when he sees the three of you, and he ushers her down this little disabled access ramp that's to the side away from you guys.
I just say we're foreigners as we walk past.
I could tell. And he nods and kind of slightly backs away. Yeah, sure. You open the door. Do you want to go in? Assume yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I walk on in.
Okay, you get a strange smell like of preservative fluid and stuff like that as you walk in the door. Some unpleasant kind of places and or smells. There are two plastic chairs, really kind of old school chairs kind of thing, left in one corner. One of them looks like it's on its last legs, no pun intended. And the room is maybe 25 feet on a side. It's got posters up on the walls like aggressive abuse of staff will not be tolerated, blah 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 blah. This
minor abuse is fine, apparently.
Yeah, aggressive abuse is fine. What the hell is aggressive abuse? Aggressive or verbal abuse, I should say. That's actually a poster I saw up in a hospital recently. Aggressive or verbal abuse. I was like, well, what's aggressive? Anyway, you can see that there is a small window, plexiglass window. Like you'd see in like a service station late at night with something you can.
So this is kind of the vestibule, basically.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The and behind this small little plexiglass window, you can see a man with a probably in his mid-30s, kind of a pinched face on him. He's got a copy of a newspaper open. You can see like the heading is the Irish Times, and he's just kind of looking at it. And as you come in, his eyes kind of flick up to you briefly, and then he goes straight back down to the newspaper without paying too much more attention.
How old was the body that was found there? Did they say it was like an old body that was dug up, or they found just a corpse next to?
They think it's an old body. The cave, didn't they? Right. They
found it.
The people that we talked to, anyway, are thinking that it was a historical body. But nobody has been overly positive about that. In terms of that it has been intimated to us that it was something that was buried there, but as Kieran put it, nobody knows whether it was buried there, when Paddy O'Malley killed, his brother 50 years ago, or whether it's a super incredible archaeological database. Yeah. We don't know which.
Right. Well, which of you is going to talk to this man and get us a viewing of this body?
Well, you're the friendliest, right? You're the one who charms people somehow.
I'm the one that charms people.
Is he?
I will charm them. That's right. I'll go
Right.
the I guess the desk and kind of like tap on it.
Sorry, I was muted.
Strangely, I will check my ammunition and take up one of those combat ready, leaning next to the door stances, like away from the window at the door that goes further in. I'm going to be standing there, and it's kind of like, what the hell, right? No, Darcy just does it.
Okay. You kind of slip up towards the door and kind of, unconsciously you kind of put your back to a wall and kind of be ready as if though something's going to burst out of the door and you're going to, jack it in the back of the head if you see anything that comes out. And zombies. So, Jerry, you tap on the glass and your man is like, he's sitting about 2 feet away from the glass and he obviously saw you came up and he deliberately ignored you as you approached. Right. And he tapped on the glass and he waits like a full couple of beats before his eyes flick up. He doesn't drop his newspaper or anything like that, and he goes, "Yeah, what?"
We're here from the Alderwight Foundation in America. There's a rapidly decomposing body here that we were sent to investigate. Can you direct us to where we would find that body?
I don't give a flying fuck where you came from. Why on God's green earth would I care about...
And grab him.
Yeah, here it comes.
You're just straight through the window.
Well, reach through is there like a window part, where we?
There's like in a service station. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I will reach there, grab him, and mush him against the.
Give me a bit of some kind of gymnastics or athletics.
Yeah,
something
I was going to say that's more of a shoe thing to do, right? She's the one who.
I'm watching this very intently.
Mm-hmm. It's like, don't you have really big fingers, Jerry? That's going to be hard to
Now, not when you've got as much strength as I've got.
That's true.
Yeah, he could just shove it right through the glass.
The glass does not matter. But yeah, I will just reach through and grab him. So athletics and what?
Let's call it dexterity, depending on how much damage you want to do to the glass. I mean, you can just reach your arm straight through, but if you want to keep the glass intact, let's give me a dex.
Let's see, I got, what is that? 7 plus, so that's 14. 17 I rolled total.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of your arm and it hurts a little bit, but you've got levels of armor or something like that, don't you? Yeah. So
resistant, resilient, I should say. So yeah, I'll just grab
the metal rim that is around the bottom kind of buckles upward as your arm gets, because your forearm is bigger than this hole, buckles upward, and the window itself, which is cheap but thick, kind of pops upward a little bit. The whole thing shifts slightly forward, and you grab him straight through the newspaper. Just go take the whole newspaper is now bundled up with his tie, and you pull him downward. No problem. What do you want to say to him?
I say, the body, please.
Give me an intimidation check. I mean, if it was D&D, I'd say with advantage, but just I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, this is gonna be a very easy roll.
Right, an intimidation. Okay.
He's dealt with a lot of assholes in this particular job, mostly because he is one. And he's faced off against some very nasty individuals, but nothing compared to. No one has managed to pull through the window.
Hold on 1 second. I'm looking for because I can't find my latest version of my character, which is funny. But okay, so an intimidation. Do we want to use charisma or strength?
Whichever you prefer.
Well, I am physically accosting this guy. So I would assume it's strength for intimidation as opposed to, verbally berating this guy. So what is that? A 6 plus
3s by any chance?
3, so that's 9. 9 plus 20.
20. Okay, and it wasn't doubles, no?
No, it's just a really high strength. And
okay. Yeah, so you grab him for a moment, you pull him down, you say, I want to see the body now. And as you flex your muscle for a moment on the forearm, the remaining part of the window just pops up. Kind of, and you're along with your man's eyes as it does, like following it. He's like, "Okay, Jesus." And you can see him like trying to at something, and there's a buzz from the doors beside you, Ron, and they go. Just like as their magnetic lock is released. His face goes very, very pale.
I step back once away from the door without touching it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in this position.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He sees the gun,
Right.
and he just actually hold on. Where's these damn dice?
You may notice Darcy's a little keyed up.
I wish I could move my camera. Oh wait, I can move my camera.
Right, this is America.
This was his don't faint roll.
Yes.
Double
Double
ones.
one. Yeah. So he goes limp in your grip,
well,
Jerry. Caliban is just like
Right.
he just falls
what I
away.
do-
It's the combination of actual guns, which just don't happen in Ireland, and this guy who just like ripped through the whole window that protects him normally. So
Wow.
I will,
Budget
the little speaky holes that are usually in this plexiglass or whatever. I let him go, poke through that, and then just pull the whole glass out or the plexiglass out.
easily, yeah.
And I grab him and take him with us because I got to keep him safe.
Yeah.
And I'll write down like, this property will be paid for by the Alderwight Foundation. And
we were supposed to keep our names out of this, but I'm a little too keyed up for all this. I don't.
Yes.
For once, I'm not paying attention to anything, and
That's right.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it.
Ask for, Mr. Beaumont. He will take care of all the damages. Say Caliban sent him, and I will put that there. Well,
I see future trouble for you.
Well, we have to pay for it. I mean, we can't just go around just doing damage without paying for it. And so, yes, I will leave that there, and I'll take the guy, and and I'm going through the door.
Okay. So, you walk through the door, man thrown over your shoulder casually.
I'll follow up.
Darcy and Shmoo kind of follow, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
kind of
I'll
like-
relax
I look
slightly.
around nervously.
Yeah, I'll relax slightly as we go through.
Okay.
And at that point,
you
I
do
finally
see-
notice and say to Polly, "Did he take that guy with him?"
Yeah.
It's like dangling over his shoulder.
Oh,
I don't want any trouble later. I'll say over my shoulder.
I'll pick up the newspaper.
Yeah. Good idea. Bring it
Password
forward.
is filled in incorrectly. So inside, the smell of kind of hospital and preservation fluid fills your nose and kind of burns your eyes ever so slightly. It's quite strong. And you can see there is a dark, very, very dimly lit corridor. It's got a single bulb at the end. You can see there are two other lights, but they're both out. One of them doesn't even have a bulb in it.
Could it be any less creepy or more?
Yeah, well, that is a morgue.
More creepy, I mean.
Yeah, who knows? There's there are two doors to your left-hand side. One of them is clearly marked Dr. Shea. And the other one is like a double door kind of affair.
Right. Well,
It's
it's
probably
pretty
in the
clear.
right place.
Yeah. And is it running along like the edge of the building? So on the right, there's no doors. Am I reading this? Am I thinking?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
And there is a set of another at the very end of the corridor. There is another set of double doors, which look like they're probably to the outside.
No, that's a completely coherent situation here. So I will say to both of you that I'm a little tired of talking to locals. Let's go straight to the Christmas tree up there.
Sure.
Okay. So
We should go down to the doors.
Mhm.